Hi, I'm STARBORN. Remember, to be a star, you have to shine your own light, follow your own path, and not be afraid of the darkness, because that's when stars shine brightest. If you've been looking at our website, starborninstitute.org, you'd already know that the title of tonight's show is The Juggernaut. And what is that? Well, a juggernaut could be a person, but it's more likely to be a very large group. It could be a government. It could be a whole country. It can be something that is members that are worldwide in some movement, because a juggernaut simply denotes a very large size. And generally it is of people who all believe quite devotedly to the same thing. And that's why it's called a juggernaut, because so many people are involved in it. It's just a large group. So this is a time when, in about another week, as we approach the end of September, or possibly no later than the first week of October, that a juggernaut moves forward. And it can be a juggernaut that is very well prepared to do so. And so that's why I'm saying it could be a group, or it could even be a whole program, or it could be a government policy, but it might even be a whole nation. And the reason why this is happening now is because a very important planet in Capricorn, Saturn, which is the ruler of Capricorn, is about to go direct. And it won't be any later than when Saturn goes direct, but I think it's beginning to occur right now. And that's because there are 4 planets in the very powerful Earth signs right now, trining each other, but they are changing direction. And as they change direction, different things are going to happen. So Uranus in Taurus, which is retrograde, and that's a fixed financial sign, is trining Jupiter, which is now direct in Capricorn, and Pluto, which is going to go direct soon in Capricorn, and Saturn, which is due to go direct very quickly in Capricorn as well. And Capricorn rules big business and big government organizations, and it rules the management at the top of them. It also rules people who have worked a very long time and have a lot of experience and really are dedicated to making it through thick and thin. So Capricorn is known for perseverance. That's what that sign rules. And so this can be a juggernaut now of people, or a group that is solidified in their beliefs about something. So now, very soon, I think within a week or maybe 2, certainly end of the month or start of October, a juggernaut begins to move forward, and I think the juggernaut is on attack. What kind of attack would it be? Well, it could be an offensive attack. Maybe they're going to decide, okay, we've had it, and we're going to go on the attack. But I really think, since it's retrograde planets, which are in a slow sign like Capricorn anyway, and are now beginning to go direct, I think, and since Capricorn rules time, I think that the juggernaut is going to begin to move forward. And yes, it's on attack, but I think the attack will be defensive. In other words, I think there are going to be a leader or a group of people, or even, as I said, a whole country or a government that deeply believes in something that is attached to their history, something that's been around a long time, something that's basic in their life. And so they are willing to stand up and defend it. And so a defensive attack simply means, hey, we're not going to take any more of this. We're going to keep our traditions, or we're going to keep our long-held beliefs, and that's the way things are going to be. Now, are they going to succeed? You know they are. They're going to succeed. And the reason why they're going to succeed is, first of all, we've got to remember that earth signs do not move fast. And so this juggernaut is going to plow forward. They are not really going to measure their success by deadlines that they meet or plans that they have. They are going to measure their success simply by continuing on, by persevering. So they realize they may not always be successful, but they're not going to be defeated either. And so that's why I think it's a defensive attack to uphold firm beliefs that have been around for this group for a very long time. It's got a lot of history behind it. In other words, they're going to defend their prior methods of success, which have upheld them for a long time, perhaps even centuries. So this is something tied to the past, but it's a group that exists today, and it involves principles that have been around for a long time that are worth defending. So the juggernaut is going to plow forward, but it won't be easy. One of the reasons it won't be easy is because there are 6 planets in a harsh T-cross among the cardinal signs. And so there's going to be people out that are quite willing to challenge them at every turn. And that is because, yes, Jupiter, Pluto, and Saturn are in Capricorn, but they are being opposed by an aggressive Mars in Aries, and that is going to stay that way until the end of the year, or the middle of December actually. So that's going to be pretty hard to live with. And then right now the Sun and Mercury are in Libra, the sign of the law and balance and fairness and treaties and making deals and partnership and compromise and diplomacy. And that Sun and Mercury, which would indicate good news about all of those things, is squaring, those planets are squaring Jupiter, Pluto, and Saturn in Capricorn, and they're squaring that Mars in Aries. So there are those 6 planets in a harsh T-cross. And you know, it's just going to be hard for people to get together, but not impossible. And to complicate matters, there is a grand trine today in the fire signs. And the fire signs love action. They don't move like a juggernaut would move. They move impulsively. And so today, Venus is in Leo. It is trining that Mars in Aries, giving it a lot of backup. And together, those 2 planets are also trining the Moon today in Sagittarius. So yes, that juggernaut is going to move forward, I think, in a defensive attack that it refuses to give in on. It's going to succeed. No matter how many interim steps may fail, it will succeed. And that's because it's not in a hurry, but it's not going to budge either. It will persevere. And so despite any counter thrusts that can be very swift moving because of the trine and fire signs, or some sort of nebulous delays behind the scenes that are sort of cooked up, that could happen as well. The juggernaut is simply going to move forward. And the reason why is because it only knows one direction, and that's straight ahead, to defend with its life everything that unites the people that believe in it. So the people in the juggernaut have hidden depths of courage and conviction, and they're not giving them up. And so that's why they'll succeed. And I think that it's going to start, and remember, it's going to be slowly, but boy, are they prepared. They've been working on it a long time. So I would say, watch out, world. And this is simply a time when people may want to really stand up for what they believe in, and so I guess they're going to. All right, what does this mean to all 12 of the sun signs? Well, Aries, you can be tremendously popular right now because of that grand trine in fire signs. So the moon in Sagittarius is trining your sun, Aries, and so is Venus in Leo. And that simply means that you really are very popular right now, and you probably are thinking of travel plans, because that's what Sagittarius rules, or of trying to get together with people. There could be someone, perhaps a woman, who is either from a foreign country or highly educated, who may want to come and visit you, or maybe you're going to see her, and that would work out really well. So would matters concerning sports or the entertainment world or love affairs or children, all the things that Leo rules. I think you should stick to that, and also what you ought to do is try to initiate some new beginnings right now. That's what your sign rules anyway, and boy, do you have support right now, Aries. But there's another reason why you should initiate a new beginning, and that is because the status quo is not going to do it anymore for you. And that is because there are 6 planets in the cardinal signs, and they are heavily opposing and squaring each other. And that means that that Sun and Mercury in Libra are opposing Mars in your sign, which means that there is a legal matter or a partnership issue or a contract issue that is not going to work out in your favor, Aries. So a good time for you to think about moving on. And then Jupiter, Pluto, and Saturn in Capricorn are changing. Jupiter has gone direct, Saturn is about to go direct, and then Pluto will follow that. And so with them all direct and squaring Mars in your sun sign, I would say that your career is due for change, and that change won't be to your liking either. And so that is why you need to sort of look forward right now while you are blessed with loving friendships and people that will help you get somewhere new. So I hope you take advantage of that. Okay, what does it mean to a Taurus? Well, Taurus, this is a wonderful time for you, particularly if you like to sort of roll up your sleeves and get to work, because there's a lot of hard work around to be done, Taurus. And that is because there are 4 strong planets in the earth signs. Jupiter, which is now direct, is trining Uranus in your sign, but Pluto and Saturn are both going to go direct, and they too are trining your sign. And so that simply means that I think that if you've got your mind on long-term interests, remember that's what Capricorn rules, or some sort of administrative position, or a possible promotion, or a way to make an investment that can sort of pay off down the road for your retirement, those would be good things for you to follow up on. Because if there is a juggernaut that is about to move forward now, in other words, sort of plow forward, and they are very well prepared to do that, and they will persevere, and they're in a defensive mode, wanting to uphold strong beliefs that everyone is united on in the group, then I would say it's better to join them than fight them, Taurus. And if you can, try to join the juggernaut, because it won't be defeated. No matter how many things are tried, it won't be defeated. It doesn't mean it couldn't endure some failures, but it won't be defeated. And that's why if you want to be on the winning side right now, Taurus, then you've really got to think long-term about deeply held beliefs. All of us have to do that, and how important it is to defend them right now. So I hope you do that. Okay, what does it mean to a Gemini? Well, Gemini, this is a time when I think that you can get some very good news about a partnership or a contract matter that can favorably influence your future. It could be a treaty, it could be a truce of some kind, it could be some sort of a deal. Even if it has stalled occasionally, it could go forward now, and it could be quite beneficial to your future. It doesn't mean that it all lands in your lap right now, but the Sun and Mercury, your own ruler, are in Libra, trining your Sun, and together they are trining the sign of Aquarius, which does rule the future. So that's good. On the other hand, the Juggernaut that's moving forward soon, it's going to plow forward, sort of slow but sure, is probably something you'll have to pay attention to, Gemini, but I'm not so sure that you'll be directly involved with it. However, you will know what's going on. It's going to be too big to hide. People will see it. And the changes that are brought about by the success of the Juggernaut as it slowly plows forward over time will create a change worldwide. In other words, the effect will be very good for a very long time, but it sure isn't going to happen overnight. Now, Geminis are sort of, very versatile and adaptable, and these Juggernauts, they're pretty determined to get what they want. So I would say, Gemini, that you should not be surprised if the focus is not always on you. It can be on bigger things that are happening around you. And I think that you should try to be as quiet as possible and sort of don't get in anybody's way. Whatever the Juggernaut is after, it's worth it, or it wouldn't be doing it. And so try to quietly just let things go on, because that Juggernaut's not going to be defeated anyway. But it would be a good idea if you sort of moved to the side and just did your own thing, but stayed out of their way. Okay, what does it mean to a Cancer? Well, Cancer, this is a time when I think that you have to realize that something has to change now. And the reason it has to change is because something bigger than you and me is going to make a change, Cancer. I mean, we have to face it. And that is because Jupiter, Saturn, and Pluto in Capricorn, and Jupiter is direct now, Saturn and Pluto are about to go direct, are all opposing your sun sign. And Mars in Aries is squaring your sun sign. Your sun sign is under duress, and there are no planets in your sun sign. And so this is a time when you have to face the fact that some group, or the head of some group, or some policy is going to be instituted in a way, sort of slowly but surely, that will not be to your liking. These planets oppose your sun. And so what you'll have to do, Cancer, is, your sign rules the home, and it rules the last half of life. And what you need to do is maybe regroup at home a little bit, or decide how you want to live with your family. Or there is the possibility that the larger world is going through so much change that you would prefer to even work at home. Just have an office in your own home. Something like that would help you adapt to the changes that are coming. And so I think that you mustn't expect too much of yourself right now, Cancer. Actually, 2021 is going to be better for you. And that is because there were eclipses in your sign and new moons in your sign this year, and that denotes enough change for you. So if you could just sort of sit out the rest of the year quietly, plan to make changes next year, that would be enough. And really stay out of the way of the Juggernaut, because it's going to plow forward, and you don't want it to plow over you, Cancer. So this is a good time to keep a very low profile. Okay, what does it mean to a Leo? Leo, this is a time with Venus in your sign, trining the moon in Sagittarius, and those two planets trining Mars in Aries, that you can really think positively about some sort of new beginning. After all, Venus is in your sign, making you very popular. And it's trining that Mars in Aries. It's just, you better look before you leap, Leo. And the reason why is you could be heading into more trouble than it's worth. So you really would be better to hold back a little bit right now. And Uranus in Taurus is squaring your sun. And that means that at any time the cost of something could fluctuate, or the value of an investment could fluctuate, or even the money that you live on could fluctuate. And it would be because of a sudden surprising change, but that could happen anytime for the next 6 years. So you need to really try to keep yourself on a stable financial footing. That may not be as easy as you think in a world of change. The Juggernaut is going to evoke slow change, slow but permanent. And yet the fire signs like action. With the moon in Sagittarius, you could be planning a nice trip to take or planning something new. But I would say just don't jump off the deep end right now, Leo, unless you can really afford it. And that would mean that you have some sort of nest egg around somewhere that won't get touched. If you've got that to back you up, then maybe you could go forward. But I would be cautious right now. Okay, what does it mean to a Virgo? Oh, Virgo. You just had a great new moon in your sign, and there are still 4 planets left in the Earth signs. Uranus and Taurus is trining your sun, and so are Jupiter, Pluto, and Saturn in Capricorn, and Jupiter is direct right now, so there should be some long-term benefit coming to you, Virgo, which is nice. It could be the culmination of a long career, so it could have something to do with retirement benefits of one sort or another. That would be nice. But also, Virgo, with these 4 planets that are now in the Earth signs, it just supports the idea that there is a juggernaut, a large group, or a group headed by somebody who really knows what they're doing, and they could be on a defensive attack, an attack to defend what they really believe in. And so this is a time when you could perhaps jump in and join them if you want, Virgo. You would get along with everybody. Maybe you share the same beliefs. Maybe you have some extra time to help with some sort of project. That would be great. So I don't think you're going to get hurt by the juggernaut that wants to move forward at all. You might even be in complete agreement with the principles that it wants to defend. So I think that that's going to work out pretty well for you. Your tragedy is that there's always people behind the scenes that are not telling you the whole truth, Virgo, and that is because Neptune is in Pisces opposing your sun, which it has been doing continually for years, and it's still going to continue that. So I would say, stick to practical facts if you can, and help out while you can. All right, what does it mean to a Libra? Well, Libra, this is a time when Libra, something could go really right for you right now. And that is because, or you could hear very good news about a peace agreement or a treaty or some sort of truce or a partnership offer. Or maybe it's the terms of a contract. And it's suddenly, much to your surprise, they could be a lot more fair than they used to be. And so that can be all to the good. And if you do get some sort of contract offer or partnership offer, you should investigate it clearly. Not only what somebody tells you, but try to get everything in writing and just read it by yourself and then have somebody else, like a lawyer, read it as well. And then that could sort of back you up and help you decide whether to move forward or not. Because Mars in Aries is still opposing your sun sign, which it will continue to do for the rest of the year. And Jupiter, Pluto, and Saturn in Capricorn are squaring the Sun and Mercury in your sign. So you can be the person who has good news for others, or who's receiving it from others. So that's sort of upbeat and wonderful. But at the same time, you need to watch out for big things that are changing around you that you don't have any control over, such as policies or management in large corporations or government agencies. You just need to sort of keep your eyes open and really stay out of people's way, but take a look at what's going on and don't rush into anything right now, Libra. People who move too fast could really regret it right now, but they'd still want to move fast. It's just this may not be exactly the right time to do that. Okay, what does it mean to a Scorpio? Well, Scorpio, this is a time when I think that the juggernaut is going to make its move within another week or maybe 2 at the most, but I think it's coming right up. And it's represented by the 3 planets in Capricorn that are all being trined by Uranus and Taurus. So it's very powerful. And these planets, Jupiter, Pluto, and Saturn in Capricorn, all sextile your sun, Scorpio. And you have the Sun and Mercury in Libra right behind your sun sign. if you are thinking of making a sort of big important move of your own, Scorpio, you would really benefit from getting good legal advice behind the scenes. And it would be from intelligent people that really know what they're talking about. So at the very least, Scorpio, you should consider consulting with a few people. Get your questions written down before you go in to talk with them, because you don't want to waste anybody's time. But at the same time, make sure that you get your questions answered, because you would be able to talk to some very knowledgeable people right now, and I would consult with them if I were you. That would help you make a decision that could be a very long-lasting decision, even if it just started slowly. Okay. What does it mean to a Sagittarian? Well, Sagittarius, oh boy, the moon's in your sign today, and that moon is being trine by Mars in Aries and also by Venus in Leo. Well, you're popular, Sagittarius, and you could be sort of benign. You could have a very benevolent feeling right now. You know, the moon is sort of passive, and it sort of goes along with other people's ideas. So you could be quite agreeable to some other ideas, as long as they are not obstructive. In other words, Mars in Aries is trining your sun, but sometimes Mars can get on a little tangent and sort of overdo it. So you can't afford that right now. You would not have a good defense against that, Sagittarius. So be careful about what you agree to, because make sure you're not biting off more than you can chew. And then Venus in Leo is trining your sun, which can be very lighthearted and fun. That's the direction you ought to go in, Sagittarius. Aim to have some fun right now, because the 3 planets in Capricorn that are right ahead of your sun sign really mean business. And as they go direct, they are going to get their act together and go for it. And that is going to affect you, Sagittarius. This is a time when people have to think about what they are willing to defend and what they really believe in. And, you know, that juggernaut is somewhere in your life, Sagittarius, or you know about it in one way or another, or you certainly will. So be careful what you agree to and try not to rush into anything. I'd stick with having some late summer fun and just relax a little bit now if you can. Okay, what does it mean to a Capricorn? Well, Capricorn, I think that you have been thinking long and hard this year about something that you're real serious about, and that you have been working at it sort of slowly but surely. And you may have accomplished quite a few small steps that are all adding up right now. And so you may be sort of ready to launch something in another month or so, a Capricorn. And I would say that it's getting to be time. In other words, I don't think you can Capricorns don't procrastinate. They just want to make sure they've got all their bases covered. Well, okay, keep checking. But actually, Capricorn, this is a good time for you to sum up what you've been doing this year, where it's taking you, and if you're really well prepared to get there. Because this is certainly a good building year for you. But you know, by the time the year ends, you've got to have something that it does get built. So this is a time when you need to really sit down and get real serious about how you're going to move forward. And that move forward is coming right up. It's going to be in October. And so, you know, that will lead into November and then December. And in December, both Jupiter and Saturn leave your sign. So you don't have too much time left to be under the influence of these very good planets, Capricorn. So you really need to make out some sort of a schedule and stick to it right now in order to achieve your goals. But I think you can do it, so keep going. Okay, what does it mean to an Aquarian? Well, Aquarius, this is the time when you may be wondering, hey, where is everybody? And the reason why you can be wondering that is Venus is in Leo, and it's opposing your sun sign, which means there can be a lot of people that you like that are sort of off having fun by themselves. And Uranus in Taurus is squaring your sun, and that's your own ruler. And so there can be some question about money, or the value of investments right now, or even something that has to do with a tax issue. And you sort of need to resolve that if you can, Aquarius. This is an absolutely excellent time for you to go to some sort of a legal counselor and get something straightened out, or even get a contract signed, get something legal signed. And that's because the sun is in Libra, which rules the law and contracts, and along with Mercury, they are trining your sun. So if I were you, Aquarius, I would sort of go to the right people and get something set up, something legal set up. You wouldn't be hurt by that in any way at all. And in fact, this may be the right time for you to do that as you prepare for the winter, and as you sort of culminate the thinking and the planning that you've been doing all year. Now you need to go and sort of get it written down properly and legally. And I think you can do that much to your benefit, particularly much to your future benefit. Okay, what does it mean to a Pisces? Well, a Pisces, this is a time when I think that you are sort of thinking and wondering what's going to happen next. And the reason why you can be wondering that is because, for one thing, the moon in Sagittarius is squaring your sun. And so you may not be too sure about some sort of traveling that you want to do, or whether you are thinking about going back to school in higher education. That you should try to do that, but you could have a few questions about that. Or also you could be wondering if you should take a shorter course of some kind. So I think you're a little bit undecided about something right now, Pisces. However, the Juggernaut is going to make its move, and we're all going to know about it. And that's because when it does decide to make its move slowly and plow forward, it is not going to be defeated. Even if it means some failure along the way, it won't be defeated. Never in our lifetimes have we seen Jupiter, Pluto, and Saturn in Capricorn all at the same time, and we're not going to see it again in our lifetimes either. And so this is a time when people have to really stand up for their beliefs. And that's what will comprise the Juggernaut, the people that are ready to go on defensive attack and defend their traditional values. And so it might really benefit you to ask yourself, okay, how much do you believe in something like that? Because if you believe in something like that, you too should join the Juggernaut. And the reason why is all the planets in Capricorn sextile your sun, Pisces. They're friendly to your sun sign. And so, you know, don't fight it. Maybe re-examine your core values, and maybe decide on something that takes a long time, but that can be very, very rewarding for the rest of your life. You should maybe give it a go. A long road to go on, but one that will take you far. You could think about it. Okay, thanks so much for tuning in. Remember, you can see the show and read our blog on our website, starborninstitute.org. Bye.